Monique just sat down with Club Shay Shay yesterday. Wish I could have got this done yesterday, but I got a lot of the newest clips. So she goes in on the whole industry. Let's check it out.
I got an aunt named Marinelle. Monique, you and her are a spitting image. You are. Hopefully, we're gonna put pictures up when we run this.
First thing I noticed about this interview, they never showed Aunt Mary. Now I'm really wondering, does she really look like Aunt Mary?
Because I saw the Jackson 5.
Okay.
And I saw people screaming for them and hollering. And I'm like, damn it, I want them to scream and holler for me, but I couldn't sing.
Right.
So I prayed to the universe, just let me be famous. That little girl fell in love with a woman named Oprah Winfrey on a local talk show in Baltimore called People Are Talking. And when I looked at that woman, Shannon, I saw me. I saw a big woman with a big head, big shoulders, and big feet. And I said, if that woman can do that, so can I.
He said it's for your games. I told him,
Yes, it's the for games.
Monique's about to go into this story about her friend in the 11th grade who falsely put a kid on this dude whose kid it wasn't. She says, I am the one, but the kid is not my son.
So when she tells me this is not his baby, but I'm going to tell him it's his baby, I can't let you do that. That's not right. Wow. So do you look and say, well, I knew that wasn't his baby. Now the baby 21 years old and he's trying to find his father. What you going to do?
Well, honestly, Monique, if somebody say, well, Shannon, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to tell you this in confidentiality, and I don't want to go any further than me, you, and this table.
Yes.
It stays with me, him, and the table.
Well, I would say before you tell me, did you hurt somebody?
Yeah, okay, yes.
Before you tell me, is this something that would make me question your character?
Be for real. If she would have prefaced it that she was going to snitch, they would have never told her. Be for real.
Because if you're getting ready to tell me something and I know that you've done something wrong and I not say anything, that's why people are allowed to keep harming people for years to come. See Harvey Weinstein?
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of people that knew what was happening.
But they felt it wasn't their place.
It wasn't their place. Right, until it becomes you. And I take a position that's not my place. Eventually, you will succumb to what you support.
Back up! Mind your business. That's all. Just mind your business.
I read that you were in, I don't know if this is the correct way, but you were in the class that...
The slower one.
Yeah, you got 2 naps. You had 2 recesses.
Okay.
You stayed in the same class.
Okay, but I did not wear a helmet.
Okay.
Now, since you want to go there, I did not have to wear that helmet, baby.
Show, but show.
Juice man crazy. I'm whipping up the baby. Whipping up the baby.
You didn't all of a sudden become this advanced. Why were you in that class?
I never connected with school. Because I always felt like it wasn't adding up. So when you're trying to teach me about the Boston Tea Party, but people that look like me is at the bottom of the boat, I can't connect to what you're saying. When they were teaching me about history, we were always the savages and we were always the bad people. And then you saw these white people be all the heroes. And as a little girl, I said, something's not adding up.
Okay, now school consists of math, science, English, yeah. History, yeah. Those can be biased, but she says it's half and half.
There's no shame to it. When people say, was you in the soul class? Yeah. You know, we colored.
We black out here.
Hey, baby, we colored. I want to live the rest of this journey that I have in peace. I want to be with my family, in love with my man, he in love with me. We watch our babies grow and develop their own families. I don't need anything in the midst of that because you family, that I should accept that trauma. I should accept you not taking accountability for what you've done, what you've said, and we just washed the slate.
And apparently Monique's brother grew up molesting her, and apparently her parents knew about it or something crazy. But watch the whole thing on Club Shay Shay. Man, now that I think about it, ain't that the exact premise of Precious? Never dawned on me. Weird.
Cat Williams sat here and said, no one's ever gone out to LA and got a sitcom like that. I was in LA for 3 months. And here comes a show called The Parkers. It took off from there, and then you get that first big check.
Yes.
And you think the people that gave it to you is awesome because they gave it to you. And it's more money than you've ever seen before until you find out this ain't the right money. This ain't the right amount. Wait a minute. If they got this, why am I getting this? Then you start putting the pieces together and you start saying, it's not right and I'm going to speak about it. See, when I saw Taraji broken on those platforms, it was painful to watch. However, Taraji and I had a conversation over a decade ago.
Yes.
In my trailer when I was doing the Monique show. And she said, you know, you got to keep on getting it until your turn comes. And I said, Taraji, most of us die before our turn comes. We got to ask for it right now. Now, I understand that because there was a time I felt the same way.
Exactly.
Because that's what I was told.
Right.
You just keep going and we'll get him the next time. We'll get him the next time. We'll get him the next time. And the next time never comes. And then you see our sister broken, sitting on those platforms. Now, when I said it.
Why didn't it get the traction when you said it that when she said it, now all of a sudden everybody is coming?
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
If you said this a decade ago, and I remember you saying it over a decade ago, why didn't it get the traction? Why didn't it get the support? Why wasn't it propped up when Monique said it?
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
I think there's a few reasons why. Number one, it was the messenger. I should just be grateful I got invited to the party. You a big, fat, black woman. How dare you be the one?
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
And then on top of that, you're saying names. You're saying Oprah's name out loud. You're saying Tyler's name out loud. You're saying Lee's name out loud. You're saying Lionsgate out loud. That's not what we do. We say they. We say the people. We say the studio. See, back in the day when they had us in chains, they would beat one real good.
Right. But in front of the others.
In front of the others, and they let everybody know what you don't want is that type of ass whooping.
Right.
That's Kunta to you. Kunta Kinte.
So what they said was, we're going to beat Monique really good. We're going to sit her down. And I made it public. Financially, my family took a hit, Shannon. And when I tell you we took a hit,
Right.
we took a hit. So when you see our sister go through that, you see her go through, and we act like our eyes didn't see what it saw when we watched that promotion happen with The Color Purple.
Right.
We wanted to act like we didn't see how Oprah Winfrey treated Taraji. In my humble opinion, when you saw her walk up, you saw that there was tension. You saw that there was something happening.
Right.
And then when you see Taraji write her a love letter, it's like, listen, we got to stand tall and stand strong on what we know. We know you were mistreated. We know it wasn't right. We know it was unfair. And then you turn around and say, oh, but Lady O handled it. I have a problem with that.
In 2007, Oprah opened a boarding school for girls in South Africa called the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls. Just months after the school was opened, a female member of staff was arrested after multiple students reported her for inappropriate behavior in SA.
We arrested a former employee who was working at Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls.
As a result of that conversation with the girls, by the next day, 5 other brave girls had come forward. But all the girls were afraid of repercussions from the remaining dorm matrons. So we immediately removed all remaining dorm matrons and put teachers in rotation in the dorms.
In February 2011, a dead baby was discovered in one of the students' backpacks. However, a spokesman for Oprah told ABC News that Oprah would not be commenting on this case. But what made all these allegations even more disturbing is that in 2010, Oprah traveled to Brazil to meet self-proclaimed medium and convicted offender John of God.
One of the most famous spiritual healers in the world rarely talks to anyone on camera. John of God agreed to sit down with me under a mango tree on the grounds of the casa.
The first time I saw it today, I was humbled by the experience.
A part of this belongs to you.
John ran a spiritual center in Brazil where he performed healing ceremonies on desperate people. However, in reality, he was doing something much worse. And in 2018, he turned himself into the authorities after facing over 600 accusations of SA. John was sentenced to over 60 years in prison. And yet, all Oprah did was delete the interview with John from her website and issued a short statement saying she hopes the victims get justice. But isn't it interesting how all these stories were quickly suppressed in the media and no one even talks about Oprah's sketchy school anymore or her connections to all these creepy men? Well, the public may have forgotten about it.
The mass media does not talk about those things. And look for the video on YouTube. It's like something like Angelina Jolie, creepy school. And then apparently, according to this video, Angelina Jolie doesn't like Oprah either. And then there's something else too, like, you know, when they had those Hawaii volcanoes, that could have been HARP. And then they might have, there's a whole lot of crazy stuff dealing with that. Like, and The Rock might have been into it. And then they got underground tunnels, all kind of craziness. Look into it. Could be flat Earth. Who knows? But look into it, though.
From Oprah Winfrey to Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels. Now, Lee Daniels was the only one I had to deal with. Did you see Lee Daniels apologize?
Mm-hmm.
He walked out on
He
that
went on
stage.
stage.
Now, to Tyler Perry's credit, Tyler Perry called us up, only for Tyler Perry to admit he did start a rumor that I was difficult to work with. He lied, only for Tyler Perry to admit I was wrong. And when my movie Boo come out, I'm going to say that, right? I do. I appreciate you calling us. But when you call me, what you going to do?
I'm going to call and find out whatever money is coming in for Precious, and I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to send it over to you. Whatever it is, I'm going to send it to you.
This is the secretly recorded phone conversation between Monique's husband, Sydney, and Tyler Perry. And so this was 5 years ago, and apparently, like, in the state that they're in, it was legal to do this.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this, and I want to talk again.
I'm going to write you a check, Monique, seriously, because, no, hear me, because this is the thing about this is, and when we start talking about this one doing this and this one doing that, and black people doing this, black people doing that, what we need to understand about that is this. Where we are right now and what we're trying to do, we got some opportunities that a lot of most people didn't have. So what I don't want you to feel one day, not one day, is that you were mistreated or that you were treated unfairly. Now, if that means that I that's what I need to do, then you do that. You do that. You take that and take it from a place of love.
Take it with a Coke and a smile.
Let me tell you where I'm going to take it from. I'm going to take it from it's business. And I'm going to take it from my brother saying, listen, yo, this is what y'all was supposed to get.
No, here's the thing, brother.
Well, I don't know what you were supposed to get. I don't know what you're supposed to get. I really don't.
Here's what we're saying is, when you say, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but I'm going to send you the check, listen, not charity, brother. We don't, because see, what happens is, what's not going to take place on our watch is this. I wrote a check for something that came in, and it's one of those things where you missing the point. And we believe enough in the universe to understand that, listen.
See, the thing I don't like about this guy is, like, he'll talk and then he just keeps on talking. He just keeps on talking for 30 minutes. No. For 30 seconds to a minute. Like, nobody else is talking for that prolonged period of time except for you. You just keep talking. Don't really want to let nobody else get a word in edgewise. But let's proceed.
When a person come to you sincerely with understanding what it is that you're talking about, versus just saying, I'm going to find out what it is and I'm going to write a check. Now it's in the tabloids. You wrote us a check because, I know you flew Whitney Houston in on your private jet. You gave T.D. Jakes $1 million. And the whole is the way that this is being done. It's like, don't throw us no chump change, because we had to go through a movie.
Now, I might be wrong, but I really can't stand people like Sydney. They just want to talk and just hog the conversation. It's like, while you're talking, conversation is supposed to be a back and forth. While you're talking for 2 minutes, I done forgot 3 of my points already. It's like, hate people like that.
Audit with Lee for monies that he didn't get. And they're saying that he did something with the money from the movie. Okay? These are the things that we had to deal with. So to speak about the dollars that you're going...
That's the thing that I have to deal with too, because I bought the movie to Lionsgate.
Listen to what I'm saying though. But listen, Tyler. This is what I need you to hear me. Hold on. In life, You can't walk around mad at everybody because one person did something to you. You must be able to compartmentalize where your frustrations lie. So when you say that you had the things going on with the movie, and then you had it with Lee, and then Monique, you're lumping everyone together. And that's what people of color have a tendency of happening to them. They're all this way. See, if you just focus specifically on the interaction with Monique and yourself, and how David stepped to Goliath and said, let's roll, dog. Let's me and you get down. Y'all are Goliaths. We just the Davids. We not with people or a person put out something false about you. Then you say, then someone said that they didn't have the same experience with you. They're glad that they had a great experience with.
This is why I'm having trouble answering that question, because it starts as a question and it goes in another direction. So what the I was on to you for a minute.
He won't never let you interject to respond.
Let me stay with the question, because you make a good point. Let me stay with the question. The question is, what would you want someone to do for you who said things about you and or mentioned things about you, alluding to the difficulties that they had with you, all because you chose. Okay. I'm not finished. All because you chose.
I got an answer.
How can you answer something and I'm not finished?
Okay, well, let me answer part of the question, and then you give me the other part. How about that?
Can you do me a favor? Can you, since you called up to have a real conversation, typically I know you used to directing, but what I need you to do is just hear me out man to man. And that is this. How would you feel if someone said something about you that you were not contractually obligated to do? What would you want them to do to make that right? And it don't have nothing to do with money.
So Tyler Perry owe you money because he said y'all difficult to work with. Make it make sense.
If somebody had said that, let me just try to be in the position. If somebody had come along and said, Tyler's difficult, he's terrible to work with, he's not going to do anything that you want him to do. If they said all those things, right? If that's what the rumor was, and there were other people who knew that was not to be true, I would want those people to stand up and say that's not true.
So, will you and Oprah do that?
I can't speak for Oprah.
Will you do that?
It's my experience. I certainly can. I've never worked with Monique. All I can speak for is my experience on Precious. I don't give a damn about saying that.
Would you do what you wanted done for you, Tyler? It's real simple. Would you do what you would want done for you? Because you told David when he said his experience was wonderful, you said that was not your experience. And the question I would have, what did you experience with Monique and or I that made your interaction with us displeasurable? Especially.
I see exactly where you're going. What made my interaction displeasurable is to have to try to navigate between Precious, Lee, Monique not wanting to do any national press without getting paid, having to navigate through all of that. That's where my problem was.
And that does sound a little displeasurable, and that's not really anybody's fault. Maybe Tyler Perry's in the wrong. It sounds like he's in the wrong, but I mean, it's not like it's illegal. It's not like there's really slander because it's not public slander. It's behind the scenes slander to maybe one guy, maybe the studio. I mean, it's a little foul, but it's not nothing suable. It doesn't sound like it.
But Tyler, this is where we are though. I'm talking in real time. But when you understand, because you're again speaking about other entities and components besides Monique. What we're saying is what made it but what I'm saying to you is I want your experience based upon your understanding that Monique, as we told you then, see writing those scripts or whoever wrote those scripts, they understand life.
Come on.
And I thought it was you. And if you don't understand that when you sit by and you say nothing when you know it's wrong, as you now said you know, and you agree, then what is the call really for, my brother?
What is it?
Okay. All right. I'm going to say this because I spent way too much time here. I thought that this would be a quick call that I could just call and say how I felt and to absolutely wish you the best. The only way this changes, I think the only way this changes, I think for you guys and where you are is this. I think Monique needs an amazing movie. She needs to be with a great director. And once the movie's done, it comes out. She gets all this kind of buzz. She gets all this that she did before, and then this thing goes away. That's the way this changes. It's got to be the right thing that comes along. Kind of some of the stuff that Octavia Spencer has been doing that comes along, or Viola comes along. She does that, and all of this goes away. I know that town and how it works. It's like, okay, oh, that was a moment that's passed. She's amazing. That was wrong. So what you're asking me to do right now, first of all, I'm not going to get into this right now because it's ugly and it's nasty and it came from a comedy skit. I don't want to be a part of it.
What is ugly and nasty, Tyler, about saying? Because we're not talking about the comedy skit. You're obviously not hearing what I'm saying. No. Here's the thing.
You said chump change earlier. You said you don't want any chump change. Does that mean you do not want the money for Precious or what?
But wait a minute, Tyler. Wait a minute, brother. Hold up. Because see, now what happens is the billionaire's starting to come out.
Right.
Now what's happening is when you call and say, I didn't mean for this to take this long. Brother, you called us. And see, what that said was when we first got the call, I'm going to tell you some real stuff. My heart skipped a beat because I said, okay, we get ready to talk to a real cat because he reached out. But now the tone you're beginning to take is, I'm a billionaire and I ain't got time for this. And it ain't going the way I thought it. Wait, hold up, brother. Hold up. Because see, you'll start over talking. I ain't got time for this. And let me say this. And when you say chump change, here's the thing, baby. See, the community is involved right now. You know it and I know it. And everybody out there know it. The community is involved. And they want to see how it's going to play out. Because the community is saying, wait a minute, y'all. Hold up. We don't know this sister to be no bullshitter. We know she a loudmouth. We know she'll say some shit off the wall. But what we know about her is she true to her word.
And all I would ask you is two questions. The first question is, did you not just say it was wrong?
Tyler.
Did you not just say it was wrong, Tyler? To say she was difficult for not doing something that she was not contractually obligated to do? Did you not say that you would feel that was wrong? Or am I missing something?
I absolutely said that, yes.
So the question I would say is,
it sounds like to me, Tyler just really trying to get them off the phone. I do that all the time. Just try to get a person out of my face. Please get out of my face.
I would say is,
but I didn't mean to spend this much time on it, is because just like you were there with your beautiful twins, I got a little boy, and I want to make sure when I'm off, that's where my attention is.
Here's the thing. Then you shouldn't have made the call until you were able to talk. But the last question I would ask you, hold up. The last thing I want to ask you is this. It's real simple. If you said it was wrong, when do you speak up and say that it was wrong, Tyler? That's it.
My thing is, if Sydney would have just stuck to that point right there, that simple, clear, concise point, I wouldn't have no problem with Sydney.
Okay, then that means telling my whole experience, about how I feel about the whole thing. That means telling my whole experience.
Whatever you listen.
And Tyler Perry is perfectly valid in feeling like he had a displeasurable experience, like it was trouble for him to be a liaison between Lee Daniels and Monique, who doesn't want to go and do the promo in France. I look at it like this. It could be like a thing just like a teaching job. In a teaching job, you get paid X dollars a year, $50K or something. You might get the summer off, but you might have to stay from 6 in the morning until 8 p.m. because you got to grade papers, you got to do after school. You ain't really getting paid for that. And then, like, Monique, she got all these problems, but you're not looking at, like, how many of these girls like Jennifer Lawrence, how many of these females and how many of these males really got to sit on the casting couch. Hollywood might not be all what it seems, but, like, you know what I'm saying? Not to say that any of that is right, but that might be the way that it is, and it's in, like, an unwritten law type of thing.
But Tyler,
without explaining the whole situation.
Tyler, here's the thing. You are articulate. You is smart. Okay.
And you is kind.
And you is kind. Okay?
Listen to me. Listen. Shit, this ain't the billionaire. This is me. You gotta cut all that out. This is me talking to y'all.
Then please talk to us, brother.
Talk to us real, because all I'm saying to you is that
I listen to me. I told you how I think that this changes.
That's all the conversation that there was. It just cut off.
The Reverend Al Sharpton, civil rights leader.
Yeah.
I sent him that audio. He listened to it. He said, baby, what that man did to you was wrong, and you're like my daughter. And we're going to have to get him to fix that.
Right.
We didn't hear from Al Sharpton for 6 months. The next time we saw Al Sharpton, he was on a podium talking about we don't need to fly commercial because we can fly Tyler Perry's private jet. I said, that's why maybe I'm not hearing back from him. Then we had our beautiful sister, Stephanie Mills.
Yes.
Okay, who is, she don't play.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I told her what happened, sent her the audio. Now, I don't know if she listened to that audio or not, but however, she called Tyler Perry. She said, Monique, Tyler Perry does not want to revisit this. Okay, fine.
Right.
While we're on the phone, Tyler Perry calls her back and says, I will meet with Monique, but not with her husband. Now, you ready for this?
Yeah.
And then Monique has to apologize publicly to say Oprah and I had nothing to do with messing up her career.
But that'd be a lie.
Look in the goddamn camera. So I said, Stephanie, tell Tyler Perry, never will I meet with him without my husband. And I owe no apology, so I'm not going to give one. That goes away. Kevin Hart.
Who's the biggest Mitch on the show? You can call him Mitch. You can call him Kevin. Right.
Now, you know when Cat Williams said gatekeepers?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, I do his podcast.
Yes.
And I want y'all to re-listen to the podcast so you can hear it for yourself. When he first comes on, he says, you're like my mother, you're like my aunt, you're like my sister.
It goes back to my earlier point. You just say anything to people just to get them basically out your face or on your side.
Okay? Then we do the podcast. We speak about the Tyler Perry situation. Oprah Winfrey, he said, I don't really know Oprah, but I'm going to reach out to Tyler. I appreciate that. Kevin kept his word. He reached out to Tyler Perry. Kevin Hart called me back about maybe a week or so later. He said, Mo, I talked to Tyler. He said he don't want to revisit it. He said, but I tell you what, let's move past that, Mo. Let's just move past that and let's just do great things. So whatever
That's what Kevin said.
I want you to hear me, Kevin Hart. Let's move past that, Mo. Let's do some great things together. Don't even worry about it. Whatever y'all want to do, I will partner with you. I'll executive produce with you. You just let me know what you want to do. Now, let me say that before we go any further, because I want to make sure I give Kevin Hart his proper credit. When my family was up against the wall, Kevin Hart wrote us a check and said, here you go. We're forever grateful for that. When we were able to give it back, we said, brother, we appreciate you with some interest on top, because I don't ever want nobody to think me and my husband. So I want to make sure I put that out there. That brother really helped us out when we needed to be helped out. Then when he came back with, I got you. I didn't ask Kevin Hart to do anything. He said, I'll executive produce. I'll partner with you. I said, good shit, Kevin, because we're in a deal with Endemol. And we're trying to get our talk show back. Mo, whatever it is, I got you. Now, Kevin Hart is one of the biggest entertainers right now in the world, right? And was then. We got off the phone with Kevin Hart. We called Endemol immediately and said, Kevin Hart said, whatever we want to do, he got us. He's going to partner, executive produce. They was like, oh, this is incredible, because when you put Kevin Hart's name on it, you already know what it is.
Correct.
2 weeks go by. We get a call from Endemol. Endemol says, we just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky. And Dave Becky said, Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. I called Kevin Hart immediately. I said, hey, baby, we just got off the phone with Endemol, and they said Dave Becky called them up and said, you don't want anything to do with me. He said, Mo, that's a miscommunication. I can tell you right now. I said, wait a minute. Are you okay, though, with this white man calling them up? Getting in between our relationship after something you said. He said, Mo, that's a miscommunication, and we're going to talk Tuesday. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you right now, it's a miscommunication. That was 2 years ago. If you talk to him, I talk to him. I've never talked back to Kevin Hart again.
Sounds like Hollywood talk. The catfish in the lake. Now rerun. What would happen if you actually showed up to my house? I'd probably get sprayed.
So everything that baby was saying sitting here.
Talking about Cat Williams.
Everything he was saying was on the up and up, because when you hear people say, get the anger out your heart. Oh, man, no one's saying he's lying. Because Cookie from the show Empire, yeah, I was offered that role. Now, Taraji tore it up, baby.
Right. That scene in the show, hands down.
Listen here. However, I was offered that. Then Felita called me back and say, baby girl, they said you're too difficult to work with. But you hear on the audio that a man told David Talbot I was difficult to work with. Do you see how that cost my family?
Yes.
And with no accountability? Because, oh, it's the great Tyler Perry? No, you've got to be accountable for that.
Does that really mean Tyler Perry owes you money because he said you're difficult to work with, and that's his opinion? And he's not slandering you out there in the public to the masses. And how come you haven't sued about that? I don't know. You be the judge.
Oprah Winfrey, you've got to be accountable for the things you've done with my family. You've got to be accountable for that.
Is there any relationship between you and Tyler and you and Oprah currently?
No. We're too afraid to call them for what it is. We're too afraid to say, if it looked like a duck and it quacked like a duck, what is it, Shannon? It's a duck.
There's a duck on your head, bird-head dishes. There's a duck on your head.
Right.
So again, you see the struggle of the black woman as I'm sitting here talking to you, and you say, Mo, but why would you record him? But you heard the man violate me.
Sound like she reaching to me.
The first thing wasn't, I can't believe that cat did that to you. It's, why would you do it? And we understand it.
Right.
Because we've been conditioned that way.
Because when you had to get somehow, because when you're telling people these are lies, yes, nobody is believing Monique. So now, even though you have him record his voice, and that's him, and he's saying he made it up, now it's no longer, oh man, I can't believe he lied on Mo. Mo, why'd you record it? So now they put the onus back on you.
Where's the win? How do we win? How does a black woman win when you say, here he is right here? And I look to the community and say, how long do we allow us to keep being exploited, used up, taken advantage of? And because we think somebody can give us an opportunity, we just say, shh, I'm not going to say nothing. If we keep operating like that, Shannon, you're going to have a whole lot of us sitting right here in this same seat, almost telling the same story. Because there are people in Hollywood that know wherever you act up is where I show up. People know in Hollywood, baby, Shannon, and I don't say it with a badge of honor. It's just what it is. Well, I've had to say, who you think you talking to? And we sitting there with the president of the studio or my patience level is not going to allow. I've been molested. I've been violated. So the moment I see you trying to do it, we're going to have to address it. My husband is nothing but a gentleman. And you know why people have a problem with my husband? Because he's right to it. There's no we're going to dance around the bush. He's right to it.
Right.
And people like Tyler Perry, people like Oprah Winfrey, they look at my husband and say, how dare you be so direct?
Right.
How dare you not put your eyes down when you're talking to me? How dare you do that? My husband is also my manager. Why would he want to exclude my management? It's like, Tyler, you should want my husband to be there.
There are some black people, some, not all, some, that my grandfather used to say, Mo, is that if you're not careful, you'll become the very thing you despise the most in a person. Now, what do we despise most about Trump supporters? ex-President Trump.
And future President Trump, most likely.
Is that no matter what he says, no matter what he does, they give him an out.
And she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. Grab them by the pussy. Grab them by the pussy. Grab them by the pussy.
Somebody had to take the babysitter home. Then I noticed she was sitting on her sweet can. I grabbed her sweet can. Oh, just thinking about her can. I just wish I had her sweet can.
There's some people in our community, no matter what powerful black people say or do in our community, we'll give them an out.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
And we can't. The movie The Butler, that movie was offered to me. Lee Daniels came out and said, I did offer Monique the Butler.
Yep, here we go with that Money Mike and the Santa Claus stuff.
But as he said to me, he said, Mo, at the time I didn't have no power and I didn't have no money. So when Oprah said she wanted it, so who played the lead role in The Butler? Oprah Winfrey. Lee Daniels was getting ready to do a biopic on Richard Pryor, and he offered me the grandmother. Who then calls Lee Daniels and says, I want to be the grandmother. Because the way things could look, it may not be that way. Just the way you would have my family on your show, Oprah. When Oprah Winfrey called me up, and she said, I got a call from your brother. And this is after I won the Oscar award, right? And your brother wants to come on the show, and he wants to apologize to you for molesting you. And he wants to tell other people how to look out for a predator.
Right.
I said, Oprah, I said, I don't want anything to do with that cat. I said, and then she said, well, if you want me to scratch the show, I will scratch it. When I hung up that phone, Shannon, I was like, I appreciate that sister. Like, she didn't have to call me.
She didn't?
She didn't have to call me and say, I'm going to have your brother.
Right.
I start seeing commercials with my mother and my father and my other brother who used to be my manager, who knew the fear that I had with the brother that was up on stage, right? We never talked about my mother being there.
She never told you that.
You know how you feel about your grandparents?
Yes, absolutely.
You know the honor and how you speak about them? Imagine you then seeing your granddaddy and your grandmama on a show, and they're talking about somebody that violated you, and that woman didn't tell you that they were going to be there.
I mean, is seeing them on TV the most traumatic thing in the world? Maybe it is to her. I can't call it.
How would you feel?
I would feel like you felt betrayed.
That is exactly how I felt and how I feel. And it's not, no, I understand it. But you betrayed me, sister. What would you get ready to say?
I was going to say, what did DL do?
Let me tell you. Baby, that voice went up, didn't it? DL is friend. He like, that's my friend.
No.
Family is sacred. And we know that you don't cross the line when it comes to family.
Please. Your mama's so old, the bitch squirt powdered milk out her titties. Please. Your mother so cross-eyed, the bitch walks sideways. Your mama used to work at the sperm bank, but the bitch got fired for drinking on the job.
Right? I do DL's radio show.
Yes.
DL Hughley is not there. His team is there. And Shannon, we having a great time. I mean, baby, we having a great time. We going forward, back and forth. When we get to the end of the show, they say, Monique, you want to play a game? Well, I want to play. I said, sure, sugar. Let's play a game. And it's a game called Would You Rather.
Oh.
Okay? Now.
Monique, you should have said, I'm too old for this game.
Wait a minute. We're having fun, baby. Right? We having a good time, Shannon. Okay. It's the sister there and there's two other guys. We're having a great time. It's a beautiful Black unity cookout.
Okay.
We're having a good time.
Okay.
Would you say your wife was your family? Is that considered family?
Yeah.
So your husband is considered family, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So here we go. They said, Monique, we want to play a game of Would You Rather. Let's go. Would you rather your husband sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without one?
What does it mean to be in an open relationship? And I know this was your idea, Sydney.
Well, yes, we are in an open relationship 24/8.
25/8 mother. This guy.
Okay. And by that, we mean that we're always open to conversation. We're open to the understandings that man and woman, or as a couple, we should have for one another. Thank you.
What are y'all clapping at? He's alluding to something, but he's saying nothing. I thought he was so straight to the point, Monique. How come he can't make a clear, salient point without talking for 2 minutes? Don't like people like that.
But you automatically said, Sydney,
This
I
was
know,
his idea.
And I think that's
Man, Monique kind of popping right there, man. Look kind of good, man.
when we first came out with it. Everybody said, "Oh my God, how could Monique let that man do that to her?"
Whose idea was it?
Well, because she's this big woman, and
Kind of looking like a kind of bigger Gabrielle Union at the moment.
he's this good-looking man, and because she has this money, she gonna let that man do whatever he want to do just to say she has a fine man.
So y'all talking about, because you talk about emotion and conversation, but that's not what, y'all talking about sex right
Well,
now.
here's what makes it beautiful, John.
Okay.
Okay, shake your head one more time. Here.
Whose idea was it?
Let
Was
me-
it your
I'ma tell
idea?
you, it was my idea because 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I'm an entertainer, and this is my best friend ever. And what I did not want to do is be dishonest with my best friend. There may be times I may want to be with other men. And my best friend said to me, Mama, I've loved you since the 10th grade. Do you think you being with another man is going to have anything to do with me loving you? And then he said, well, you know, if you can be with other men, I can be with other women. I said, well, that's not what I meant now. That's not what I meant.
But they so disgusted and appalled at a little comedy quiz show question. Come on.
Really, Monique?
Now, as y'all are watching right now who haven't heard this story, y'all going, they doing the same thing in the studio. They going, okay. That is exactly what happened. Now, I called D.L. Hughley on the phone. I said, listen, I just got off the phone with your team, and they wanted to play this game, Would You Rather? And it was like, stupid. Like, asking me about my husband and Lee Daniels and Corinne Steffens, and his exact words, well, that's how we do it. I said, DL, how does that uplift our community? And again, I don't know what y'all trying to insinuate, but brother, what you doing? Like I said, that's just how we do it. So it is what it is. Now, it got so ugly that my attorney had to send a cease and desist. So it never aired. My husband is my family.
Yeah.
Now, you babies that are really good with this internet, through the years, I've watched DL speak ill of me. Through the years. I never knew D.L. Hughley had a problem with me. But when Cass said they all a group, he forgot to put D.L. Hughley in the group. Through the years, I was bitter. I was dangerous with what I was doing, saying that it was inequality. My husband didn't know what he was doing. This went on through the years.
Right now, DL is calling her bluff on if that footage really exists. I know, like, after the conflicts, I know DL was going in on her, but I want somebody to really find the evidence of he was going in on her before the conflict. I just halfway looked myself, but hopefully somebody finds it. Prove her point.
I was unloved, all of these things. And I said to myself, I'ma see you. I'ma see you. We were scheduled to do a show in Los Angeles. I was the headliner of that show. His name was on it, then his name came off. I didn't question it, but I knew I'ma see him, right?
Eventually.
Okay, now we have a show in Detroit. Contractually, I was the headliner. D.L. Hughley posted a memo. The memo was saying, this is what I would like.
Right.
But the contract is saying, this is what it is. Okay.
For that Hollywood bullshit. If you cross the motherfucking line, Oprah, If you cross the motherfucking line, Tyler, I'm gonna see you cool, motherfucker. They have taught niggas to be so motherfucking fearful and just give it to God. Let go and let God. So I kept hearing this shit over and over and over again. So I said, well, let me let the shit go and let me give it to God. And you know what God did? He gave it right the fuck back. He said, bitch, I gave you everything you need to deal with these motherfucking coons. Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley. I gave you everything you need to deal with these motherfucking coons. See, I fucks with contracts. That's why niggas got a problem with me. If you sign the motherfucking contract, that's what the fuck it is. But they're so used to niggas fucking around with the contract and being nervous because they might lose an opportunity or a motherfucking chance. So they will redo the contract. I'm not a bitch who's gonna redo the contract. If you signed a motherfucker, that's what the motherfucker is. The motherfucking contract said that a bitch is the headliner. Monique is to be the last motherfucking person on the goddamn stage. She is the headliner. That's what I signed the fuck up for. I'm 30 plus years in this motherfucking business and I don't open for no goddamn body. The contract said the headliner. The contract said the headliner. The contract said the headliner. But a nigga named D.L. Hughley turned into a bitch and said I won't perform if she does that. Nigga, you open for the kings of comedy. I close for the queens of comedy, nigga. We got a history, nigga. We got a history. That nigga went on a tour talking about all Monique wasn't. You can Google it right now. D.L. Hughley on Monique, all I wasn't, what I wasn't worth, all of this bullshit, and nigga, you put your feet under my motherfucking table. So you came to my home, nigga, and you put your feet under my motherfucking table. I don't get down like that, goddammit. You got a bitch wrong. You talk about Young Thug, and because of their names, nigga, your name is DL. What the fuck does it stand for? Hey, how far you bending over, nigga, on the DL? You fuck with the wrong one.
Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something. Or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do has got Captain in front of it.
Burn.
But apparently she goes on Club Shay Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time. And my co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that. I listened to her and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't because I respected her wishes. She's a liar.
Let's take it to my boy Bernard Riley, proud Black Manispherian here on YouTube. Check him out.
D.L. Hughley offered an initial response where he said all you got to do is check the orders of the names on the ticket stubs, and he went on to say that he decided to work with Monique. He just went under the assumption that Tyler Perry was wrong, Oprah was wrong, Charlamagne the God was wrong, Lee Daniels was wrong, Netflix was wrong, basically making an argument that if everybody else is the problem, then maybe it's you that's the problem. Monique responded to that by simply pointing out that if D.L. Hughley had to go to ticket stubs, that means he didn't have a contract saying that he was the headliner. She said she has the contract to show that she is the headliner. So she said, unless D.L. Hughley can produce that, he has nothing. So then D.L. Hughley then produced something. He produced a deal memo and a show schedule that shows that he is the headliner of the show, that he's the highest paid artist on the show, and that he's the artist who approves the lineup of the show, and he is closing the show. He produced documentation that basically showed that he was the HNIC. That's what he showed. That's what he produced. Monique then responded by essentially saying that what he produced was not a contract. It is a deal memo. So what is a deal memo, you may say? Glad you asked. A deal memo is an American term used to describe a document which summarizes the key points of a contract between two or more parties. Deal memos are the precursor to a full contract, which ultimately documents the legal agreement between the parties. So deal memos are important, but they're not exactly contracts. However, they do go hand in hand. So Monique, from her perspective, she's throwing down the ultimate trump card on this whole thing. Why? Because she's producing a contract. Everything that DL is producing is everything except for an actual contract. That's her argument. But it gets a little shaky when DL responds to her contract by pointing out a few things. The deal memo, or whatever he has, it was signed into action on March 29th. Whatever she had was signed on March 28th. And to add insult to injury, is under a company named Hicks Media Inc. You may be asking, what is Hicks Media Inc? Well, I'm glad you asked. Hicks Media Inc. is Monique's company. Her husband's name is Sidney Hicks. Hicks Media that's her. That's her thing. So that's why D.L. Hughley is saying, and quoting, man, Hicks Media Inc? Hold up. That's you. You really showing everyone a contract you submitted from your own company? I smell BS, and I wouldn't pick it up with the old birth certificate paper it was written on. So long story short, after we go full Johnny Cochran Scooby-Doo detective agency on this thing, the best conclusion that I can come up to is that they both were given separate information. From who, you may ask? I'm going to call it and say that it was a janky promoter in Detroit who wanted to get the event to go down. The Monique said he second guessed his daughter because of what he believed about this particular man. He thought that his daughter was mistaken about what happened. That's a tough one, and he owned it and said that he can never take that back. But he was saying that he was telling that story of how he dropped the ball to embolden people to essentially believe women when they tell you something happened to him. He was basically making a feminist leaning believe all women argument. But she tried to take that and flip that around to try to say that, look at him. He won't even protect his own daughter. You think he cares about you? This is how he feels about black women. She's going that far into that extreme with it. She's going to that extreme with this thing, all because of a personal contract dispute, which could have been handled behind the scenes. She's doing all this. So I go back to D.L. Hughley's original statement on all of this. He said that she's now proving Tyler Perry right, Oprah right, Lee Daniels right, Charlemagne right, Netflix right. I'm having a hard time remembering everybody that she's had a problem with. Add DL to the list.
Well, Club Shay Shay is getting messier and messier. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a wait set. Monique's a liar. When Monique did call me, I heard her complaints. I listened to her and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't because I respected her wishes. She's a liar. It's also befuddles the shit out of me how somebody who as a comedian talks as much shit about everybody else as she does. She has the temerity to be offended about anything as much shit as you say about people.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
Then she encouraged everybody, allegedly it stems from the fact that I used to always talk shit about her on video after video, and she encouraged her sweet babies to look at the video and find them. Do that. Do exactly what she says. And you know what you're not going to find? You're not going to find any evidence of that because Monique is a fucking liar. She's lying about that. But what you will find is Monique talking shit about some alleged contract dispute we had. Look at the ticket. It says D.L. Hughley, then Monique. She knows the story. But what she did in response to that, she talked about my dog, my wife. This broad even brought out my daughter's personal trauma. My daughter was molested and Monique brought that shit out and told the world that I allowed my daughter to be raped in front of me. The lying motherfucker. She knows she was lying. And it only stopped when everybody from my family checked her. It's interesting. You know what else you won't see Monique doing? You won't ever see her with her family, videos with her children or grandchildren, because nobody fucks with me. How do you have sweet babies when your own babies don't fuck with you? How do you love us for real?
Her youngest kids mess with her, but her oldest son does not mess with her, though.
When there's no evidence of anybody loving you for real, except your daddy, who you apparently have to pay. And FYI, daughters are paid for by daddies, not daddies who get paid by their daughters. You know what else you won't see Monique doing? Telling jokes. Monique, if she'd have spent as much time actually writing jokes and writing her Netflix special as she did complaining about not having one, it wouldn't have been trash. It got the worst reviews of any Netflix special in history. Because that's what Monique does. She complains and she has grievances. You never see her being a human being. You never see her being sweet and warm to people. Except when she's using it to butter somebody up to get something. There's a reason why everywhere she goes, shit starts. Everywhere she goes. How is it that nobody fucks with you, not even your family. How do you, or I was on the road, get it. I get it every goddamn week. Look at my schedule versus yours. See how much I'm going. And I still manage to have a relationship that I cherish with my children. Can you say the same? You can't. Because all you do is talk about your grievances and who did you wrong. There's a reason you're by yourself. There's a reason you got to pay a man to love you. It's sad. There's an old adage that says you can't buy love. It's a shame, Monique, that you probably always will have to.
And then they come back again yesterday.
So we got to start off by saying there was an inaccuracy as it regards Monique saying that there was a cease and desist that was given to DL to shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
What had taken place, to be accurate, was after Monique spoke to Brother DL on that conversation, Brother DL said, what?
Well, after we spoke on that conversation, when we hung up that phone, the last thing he said was, it is what it is. And I said, DL, then we're going to have to get our attorney involved. That's the last thing me and DL Hughley said on that conversation.
Now, they recorded Tyler Perry on the phone 5 years ago. But this incident with the Detroit show, that was no more than 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Why didn't they record that conversation? Maybe an oversight, or maybe it didn't go down like that. You be the judge.
And after having that conversation with Monique, we went and got our attorney involved, Attorney Anderson. At the time, there were some emails that were transferred back and forth between his side and our side, and it escalated to a point when we had our attorney on the email, whereby then finally DL said that he would scratch the interview.
Yes.
So,
you know, when I watched DL say, she went after my wife, she went after my daughters, I want to really be clear who I went after so that there's no confusion here. When I was on stage, when I'm on stage and we are performers, we are performing to the audience in front of us. When I was on that stage and I said it must be hard to perform oral sex.
But differently.
Okay, on a coward. That had nothing to do with Mrs. Hughley. That insult was directed straight to you, DL. That had nothing to do with your wife. That was straight to you. So it felt like you were trying to pass it off as if I was going after your wife.
You're clearly going after the wife because you're saying the wife is servicing cowards.
When it comes to your daughter, to the baby that you did a post about, you did an interview about, I didn't do that interview. I simply reposted what you said. So when you say, Monique, you went after my daughter, that's untrue, DL. I posted what you said. And then when you said when you were really going for it with your shades on, and you said, Monique said, I stood by and watched my daughter be raped. DL Hughley, that's your conscience talking to you, brother. I never said that. I never said that. Because at any given time, we could be brought to the mat. Ding dong.
Well, we make it a point of not messing with people that's not messing with us. And we hope that today for you guys, the feeling that Charlemagne got, Brother Leonard received from the community by big upping him for apologizing. It's kind of like a movie we used to watch with the kids called Monsters, Inc., where they would go in, they would scare the people for power. But then they found out laughter created more power. Y'all have the power to heal. Use it. Use it to heal. Use it to help folks. Don't hurt folks. Because what happens is, one of the greatest gifts we can have is going in our community and getting the love from our people.
But a nigga named D.L. Hughley turned into a bitch and said, I won't perform if she does that. Nigga, your name is D.L. What the fuck does it stand for? Hey, how far you bending over, nigga, on the D.L.? You fuck with the wrong one.
Let's use our power to heal.
Forget Hollywood, because it's weird. Getting the love from our people. So we are proud of you. And I'm emotional about it because I'm happy that y'all got an opportunity to do that for yourselves. And we love y'all, brothers and sisters. And just hilarious, keep that going. Keep that going because you are a great addition.
Then you get up and you get that soul juice. I ain't getting up. What you watching, son? I'm just flipping around, Daddy.
All right, I'm taking time to respond to Monique again. She made another greasy ass video with her daddy. We kind of relitigating some of the stuff she said on Club Shay Shay, where she talked about how she was on the show and somebody, they played a game, Would You Rather? And I guess she felt like they insulted her husband's sexuality, which is interesting because she can always talk shit about everybody else's sexuality.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
But I guess her husband's sacrosanct. He's off limit. But a hit dog will bark unless his mouth is full.
DL, stay with the slick fat jokes. We know what you're doing, DL.
But she talked about, well, she didn't actually call her lawyer. Who the fuck would be afraid of your lawyer? Your lawyer, you mean the lawyer that did your contract? That lawyer, the lawyer from the firm of Negro from Ghetto, Got 'Em and Gone, that lawyer?
Why the Negroes gotta be bad lawyers, DL Hughley? Thought you was about black empowerment. But you do stay on Bill Maher, though. Score 1 point for Monique. 1 point at least.
Who the fuck afraid of him? He couldn't get your name right on a ticket. He gonna get it right on a legal document. It didn't happen because we decided it shouldn't happen. You didn't need to, because we respect people. We don't have to do things for clicks. They took it off because you asked me to, because I respected you at the time. You also talked about how I disrespect you on so many platforms. But you have this impeccable memory where you can tell to the degree, well, who did what to you and why and what happened, where you were. But you can't pull up one time on any platform that I said anything about you at all because you know you're lying. You got that piece of paper and that big ass memory, but you can't pull one up. My biggest mistake is saying yes to you. I should have said no when you couldn't come on my radio show. I should have said no that I wasn't playing those dates with you. As a matter of fact, almost anybody who says yes to you at some point is in this milieu with you. Almost anybody. So I would suggest anybody out there, you can say yes to drugs, but say no to Monique. Crack. I'm promoting it.
When have you ever heard crackheads hitting the pipe and dying the first time?
Never.
Never.
You talked about how my children, families are uplifted. They weren't when you were running across Vegas. I mean, the stage in Detroit. They weren't when you talking shit on social media. When you got your ass whipped and your tickets dropped, then they became off limits. But let's do this. Let's decide that you will treat my children like you treat yours, like you don't know them, invisible, like you have no relationship with them, like you're estranged. You're unfamiliar, like you don't know them. You also intimated that I was a coward. You know what I'd never do? I would never let my woman take care of me. I would never let my woman get evicted from her apartment. I would never let my woman has to ask another man for money. I'd never do that. Can your old man say the same? He loves you. Of course, he got to say that. You claim him on your taxes. He's a dependent. He's sitting there with you right now. And everything. Because it ain't like he does anything else. But you never address the salient point. I said that if you spent as much time writing your Netflix special as you did arguing about getting it, it wouldn't have been trash. It was. I didn't say it. I defy anybody out there. Stop listening to me. Watch it. Read the reviews. Read the reviews. You begged for something. You made valid points that women are underpaid, that they're not valued. That's absolutely right. So you would think that when you got a chance to do something that you had argued for, you be up for the challenge, but you shit the bed because you never are ready for it. Because all you ever do is complain about what you don't have. You're never ready for the moment because you're always living in the past. I said it. If you spend half of your time doing as opposed to talking about who didn't do for you and what they did for you, you'd be a lot further along. You wouldn't be evicted. You wouldn't be working for your man. You wouldn't be asking other comics for money. So you got all the ingredients. Take that piece of paper that you're running down the list with, and that pen that you got, and that daddy sitting next to you, and do what you can't do what you never do. Write a fucking joke.
If y'all haven't seen Monique's special, I'm gonna save you some time. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Motherfucker, that's every nigga that bought his motherfucking body. The fuck I am. Why the fuck I motherfucker, yo bitch, I was motherfucking on a bitch all bullshit. What the fuck motherfuckers, bitch, from motherfucking nigga, motherfucking nigga, goddamn motherfucker, dick, suck the dick, suck my dick, suck his dick, any old dick, my dick. This is beautiful.
I haven't seen it, but that was hilarious to me though.
Ain't none of them guys win no Oscar. Ain't none of them guys did what I did in on the movie set, and they're having the commercial sets that they're having. That should be more.
Because I am the most, and I say this humbly, I am the most decorated comedian alive.
Hello, official office of comedian deaths. Yeah, I just wanted to check to see if Eddie Murphy was alive. Yeah, no, because Monique said she was humbly the most decorated comedian alive, and I thought maybe Eddie Murphy died while I was sleeping. Okay, no, he's alive? Oh, crazy. I don't know what she's talking about then. I don't know what decoration she could have made. That funny pony's a nice decoration, but...
Is he slick talking about her ponytail? That was a funny ponytail. Oh yeah, Kev on stage, funny guy on YouTube.
It's not the ones people usually talk about. While I got you, is Whoopi Goldberg alive? Whoopi Goldberg from Sister Act 2. Yeah, Cole Bean. Hey, and Colin. Yeah. She is alive too? What is Monique talking about? Yeah, because, you know, Whoopi's one of only 12 people to win an EGOT, which is an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony, the only African-American person to do it, and she won the doggone Grammy for a comedy album. So what is Monique talking about, do you think? No, because she called us for a boycott, and I'm like, bro, you can't, that's not a boycottable offense, okay? Black people can't sit anywhere on the bus, boycott. You got offered $500K, not boycott. I thought it was generous. That's just me. I mean, shoot, let me get the 500. I could take it. I'll take 50,000. I might take 5,000 just to be on Netflix because I've never been. Okay, no, while I got you, can you check ticket sales as well? Yeah, because that's another decoration she could be talking about. Has she sold more than Kevin Hart? I think he sold out like football stadiums and stuff. And he had like fire in Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I know. Just Google it if you don't have it in your registrar. No, she probably hasn't sold more tickets than Kevin Hart. What decorations is she talking about? I don't understand. I mean, is she your favorite comedian? Because I don't think, even in public opinion, she's most people's favorite comedian. I think she's funny. No, I do. I think she's funnier than Amy Schumer. But I don't think she's the funniest alive, which could be a decoration. No, it is crazy. Okay, listen, you know what? While I got you, here's why I'm upset, okay? She called for a boycott. She said Netflix was racial and gender biased, okay? Netflix gave Shonda Rhimes a $100 million plus deal, $25 million a year. She black, okay? They gave Dave $20 million on multiple occasions. They gave Crust money. They gave doggone Amy $11 million. The most generosity. I don't know what basis she wants us to boycott. And I'm tired of boycotts being called for everything. Because, shoot, boycott got to be a serious thing. Okay? No, cool. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you got to get back to work. All right, does she have the most Facebook followers? Does she have more Facebook followers than Kev on stage? She doesn't? Your boy out here. All right, go. I'm going to let you go. All right, have a great day.
If I was a white woman, do you know what my name would be?
Wealthy.
Melissa McCarthy. 5-year sitcom and syndication. Same track record. The opportunities are not the same.
If black people are 15% of the population, and white people are 40% of the U.S. population, of course they're going to have more opportunities. But, not necessarily right, but, you know, it's what it is. Just think about it.
Everybody always said to me, you want to get the syndication. Syndication is 100 episodes.
Okay.
I didn't know to ask to be an executive producer of my own image. And nobody told me. I didn't know to ask for that. I didn't know to ask for, after the 3rd year of being on a successful sitcom, that you could say, I now need a bonus. I didn't know to even negotiate that, and no one told me to negotiate that.
They're definitely not going to tell you.
I'm going around the country doing promos. The Parkers is coming on at 4 o'clock in your city. The Parkers will be on at 2:30 in Sacramento. Y'all make sure y'all watch the Parkers. It's coming on.
Man, I'm going to find out today. What's the lyrics to that theme song? We're the Parkers. We're doing the things we did last week. Come join us. We're the Parkers. The Parkers lyrics. Let's find this out right now. Yeah, we're the Parkers. Oh, that is so cute. We're doing the thing. God dang it. We're doing our thing. It's a new type of swing. Come join us. Works for me. I always thought we're doing the things we did last week. Come join us.
I'm not knowing I'm promoting the show in syndication. No one told me that. Once we got to the 5 years, our attorney, my attorney, and the agent said, oh, the Parkers made money. Y'all gonna get paid from the Parkers. It's made money. Okay. Years go by. By 2004, the Parkers, we went off the air in 2004, right? In 5 years, by 2009, the Parkers had made $800 million.
You're like, oh yeah.
Stay
money,
with me.
Money.
Money.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, come
money,
on. Hey, yeah. All right. Okay. Because we waiting to get this money standing. Oh, check is coming. We get a call. We got to do an audit, and everything. Okay. And that was in 2009 that it made $800 million.
Okay.
We're now in 2024. And they're trying to convince Countess Vaughn and I that show made no money. $55,000 an episode.
Okay, so how many episodes did you shoot that last
5 years. That last year we shot 22 episodes.
Okay.
We made $55,000 a piece at the end of a top-rated sitcom.
Hold on, time out.
If somebody cost you, Shannon Sharp, millions of dollars,
yes,
do you want to be compensated for what they cost you for a lie and a rumor?
Yeah.
So
he didn't even tell that to the mass public.
At that time, I was making roughly between $2 and $3 million a year.
Right.
I sat in that for over a decade, like 12 years.
Right.
You do the math. Over a lie that he admitted that he told. Not something I'm making up. You admitted that, brother. How do you make that right?
I'm sure you got lawyers. Have you had a conversation?
When I talked about them damn bonnets, let me tell you something.
Yeah, you said, hey, come on, can we, like, when we come out the house, can we not have the bonnets on? Can we not have the pajamas on? Can we not have the house shoes going in
the whole damn Halloween costume? That's a Halloween costume that you wear on Halloween. And I am passionate about that because what is the representation that we're giving to the little girls that's walking behind you? What is the representation that we're giving to our black men that's walking beside us? What is the reputation that we're giving? So when people question my husband and why is he there, you would hope you would have one like that. I remember our beautiful sister Tiffany Haddish. Did an interview with GQ magazine. And this, in my humble opinion, is where we keep throwing each other under the bus. You're doing an interview with GQ magazine, and I'm assuming the journalist was a white person. And the conversation turned to Monique. And she said, well, I don't do business like Monique do business, and I'm glad I don't have that husband of hers.
That husband do come off kind of annoying. I'm really not gonna hold you. I mean, he talks for a whole minute to 2 minutes at a time, but he does get the business done, I suppose. But yeah, let's hear what the rest of Tiffany Haddish was talking.
But she don't know your husband.
And when I saw that, it's like, Tiffany, if you had a husband like mine, you may not have 2 DUIs. If you had a husband like mine, you may not be caught up in what looks like you could have been grooming a child. And I say all of that with no judgment. But when you speak about having a husband like mine, you open up the door. And I'm saying to you, if you had one like mine, you may not sit in these positions that you can't explain the next day.
Right.
Back up! Mind your business. That's all. Just mind your business.
Or it's a hard way to go.
And come and lift your ass.
So once again...
Well, she doesn't even have a husband, let alone like yours.
Well, damn it now. You said it.
Moesha. How did that come about? You had an audition for Moesha, right?
No, sir. But I never auditioned.
What?
I've never auditioned. And when I first came to Hollywood, I told this guy named, I believe his name is Mark Unray. And I told AJ Johnson, and I told a sister named Kimberly Brooks. I said, I'm not auditioning. And they was like, okay, like your fat ass. You not auditioning? Okay, fat ass, we'll see. That's what they did. They laughed. But I meant that. I'm like, what you see is what you get. I am not going to, especially now. Especially now, why ever would I audition when I've got the highest award that you can get in this business called acting?
Why didn't Mo want to be famous so bad?
I'm a little fat black girl, baby. And ask another fat black girl. We fight for that attention. Because you wasn't the one picked on the playground to play kickball.
Right.
You wasn't the one picked for the spelling bee. You wasn't the one picked for this. You wasn't the one picked for that. So I was like, one day, I'm sure you growing up, you had your challenges.
Yes.
You were a dark-skinned man.
Yeah.
There was a time you stuttered.
Yeah,
I'm
you know, I wasn't always popping, Mo, now that you brought it up.
Let's talk about it, Shay Shay.
It was the elder barges. You remember that?
Talk about it.
The
Your
good
hair
hair?
wasn't curly. Your skin was black.
Yeah, man.
Okay?
Yeah, now that you brought it up, I wasn't always
what
popping.
that is. So
Yeah.
now to be that,
yeah.
now you got to be careful. Because you remember the time when she told you, no, I don't want to go out on a date with old Black Shannon.
Yeah, you know.
Let me talk to her right now. Let me talk to your ass that wouldn't go out with Black Shannon. Now you wish you would have went out with Black Shannon that stuttered. Okay, you wish you would have went out with black stuttering Shannon Sharp's ass.
Forget them smooth talkers. Give us stutterers some play. That's what I'm talking about.
Now look at him. He got the Shay Shay show. I bet her ass up tough. I've been there. I've been there. So we understand it. You know, you understand that drive. You understand that thing in you that says, I won't let nobody stop me. Now, my drive wasn't that I wanted to get my family out of poverty because I've always grown up in a middle-class environment. So it wasn't that we were dirt poor, you know, we didn't have no whole lot, but I didn't look at it as we were in poverty.
Right.
For me, I just wanted the world to know me.
Your first son.
Yes.
That you're trying to get it. But it robbed you of a lot of things of a mother-son relationship.
It did.
And so you made sure not to make the mistake this time around. What's your relationship like? Is he resentful of that?
We're still very much separated.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where you have to pray to the universe and say, let time do the healing. And that's it.
Right.
That's it. Let time do that healing. Right. Now, I'm not saying, because I've had to do that.
Right.
When I tell you I was so out of line and out of order when I first got with my husband, so out of order and out of line. And this has been my best friend since 10th grade, since we were 14 years old. He came to the other weddings. Okay?
What?
It was like my brother. Go to the Essence Festival. So we go upstairs and I take my shower. Well, it's nothing for him to see me naked because we were roommates.
Monique just sounds like an extra freaky roommate.
Right.
You know, so nothing. So he says, when you come back from Essence, I want to talk with you. So I said, okay. So he went to kiss me on my cheek, but the kiss was half lip. It was like here.
Yeah.
I knew I was getting somebody I could trust because I just needed somebody that I could just try. Like my brother stole from me. I just needed somebody that I could just trust, and I didn't want to keep on having randoms.
Right.
Because that gets old after a while.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're just trying to fill the void.
Right.
And men go through that as well as women. You just get tired of So I knew I could trust him, but I didn't know he was the king that he was, Shannon. I didn't know that I would be raised. Because I was not initially the headliner.
Right.
of the Queens of Comedy. Some more was.
Right.
And I remember our first show, and this is why I appreciate her, because she knows a great show. Like, you have some comedians that feel like, you can't follow me. I tore the stage down and it's over and you can't. And I felt that way one time in my life, and that was with D.L. Hughley.
But a nigga named D.L. Hughley turned into a bitch and said, I won't perform.
Right? No more C&D promoters. You're in the big leagues now. Walter Latham wants you to be a part of the Queens of Comedy. Okay. No
problem.
You. No problem.
Because he's the executive producer of the Kings of Comedy, correct?
Right. This going to be a blast.
Yeah.
The first check I got, my banker called me up and said, Monique, this check is no good. I need you to get Walter Latham on the phone. Walter Latham, from here on out, I will only accept cash from you moving forward. You have 2 hours to get the money into my account.
All I got is this 20 for the rest of the week. I need that money.
If not, take me off of the Queens of Comedy tour.
You make it right?
He made it right. You saw me on the tour, didn't you?
Yeah.
And one night, we were on the Kings and Queens, right? And oh, how Bernie Mac is missed. Oh, how he's missed. Because he was a real one, right?
Okay.
Uncle Bernie. All the Kings of Comedy had limos. Separate. Steve had one. Bernie had one. Cedric had one. DL had one. All of them. Then another limousine pull up and they say, this is for the Queens of Comedy. I said, I will not. I will not. You better pull up 4 separate limousines. You're going to treat us the same way you treated them. We helped sell out 44,000 people.
I wish somebody would go back and look at the actual division of the math of the tickets sold between the two. Maybe it makes sense.
That wasn't just the Kings. It was the Kings and the Queens. So you will treat us accordingly.
Right.
All the Kings got Rolex watches when it was over.
What y'all get?
I'm still waiting.
Now that ain't right. Unless they really didn't sell no tickets.
The movie Precious. That's the movie that made Monique a star among stars. She shined the brightest because you played that role. Nobody else could have did that role justice, Mo. What was Monique contractually obligated to do as far as the promotional aspect of Precious?
I was contractually obligated to promote the movie Precious under Lee Daniels Productions.
Okay.
I promoted Precious under Lee Daniels Productions. I did Oprah, I did magazines, I did TV shows, I did all of the promotions I was contractually obligated to do.
Okay.
That was it.
That was it.
I got some days off on the tour. I'm going to relax with my family.
Right.
See, Whoopi Goldberg said I could have schooled you and told you what was expected when I didn't promote and go overseas. And you know how you just looked up and looked away?
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg, what you were saying to me, I could have schooled you and told you, you go in that house and let them have their way with you.
Right.
And I'll be here when you come back.
Mm-hmm.
She promoted so well in the United States, we want her to go international and promote the movie and do Cannes.
Okay.
I tell my husband, please let them know I respectfully decline. Lionsgate calls back and says, what is it going to take for us to get Monique to come to Cannes?
Sweet Cannes.
We'll give her another week in France. We'll upgrade her room. My husband said, is there a dollar amount attached to what you're asking for? Oh, we will never pay anyone to promote a film. Never. He said, we understand. And we're never going to work for free. You're asking her to do something that she's not obligated to do.
Correct.
Well, what is this the attorney? He said, actually, I'm her manager and her husband. Now we can put it on the husband's being difficult.
Right.
Right? Okay. So I don't owe anybody anything. That's why I was never sued. Now we go to the Hoodie Awards. Tyler Perry does this. And the people scattered. They all left out the room. So Tyler Perry says to me, listen, Monique, we really need you to, promote this film, because if you get nominated for the Oscar, your next movie is going to be $3 to $5 million. If you win it, your next movie is $6 to $8 million. I said, Tyler Perry, who you talking to? I'm a black woman.
We black out here.
Hey, baby, we Tyler. Baby, we Tyler. When they gonna pay that kind of money? You can pay me to promote it, because at the time now him and Oprah are producers on the film.
Right.
I said, you can pay me to do it. I don't care where the check come from, but y'all just gotta pay me to do it. He said, I'm not in the habit of giving out money for free. I said, and I'm not in the habit of working for free. But you gave TD Jakes a check for $1 million.
I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you...
What? When? Yeah. Your ass, see, you gonna ask me why, and you gonna ask me where. Well, I'm gonna say, who the fuck are you?
Ooh, let me have some of that Cool Whip. What'd you say? You can't have a pie without Cool Whip. Cool Whip? Cool Whip, yeah. You mean Cool Whip? Yeah, Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Cool Whip. You're saying it weird.
But that's another story, and I'm back.
December 16th, Christian made some very serious allegations where he said he was abused and assaulted by a male entertainment figure. He said this figure is someone who he considered to be a brother and a mentor.
So this dude named Christian Keys, back in December of 2023, he was accusing somebody of coming on to him sexually and offering him $100,000 just to put some baby oil on him in front of him or something like that. But the dude said, I'm not gonna do it. And so it just so happens that Christian Keys had happened to act in multiple of Tyler Perry's productions. And everybody pretty much believes that he's talking about Tyler Perry. Let's hear from him. And that last video came from Biffin on YouTube. Biffin.
So my brother hit me. He was a little concerned about safety when dealing with powerful people. The good news is several family members and my attorney have the proof, the video description, the breakdown, the audio, the names of the people, all of that. So if anything happens to me, then that information will come out. And I trust God. I'm out here setting up scholarships and doing right by people. God ain't gonna let nobody do no dumb stuff here. So, love y'all, Monique. I appreciate y'all.
So when we have our juggernauts.
I'm the juggernaut, bitch!
Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart. These are our juggernauts of our community. These are the people that our babies say, when I grow up, I want to be that. Yes. I want to be like that. So we have to call those people to the mat and say, listen, what are you teaching our babies? You're feeding poison because you're showing them your private jet. I'm going to show you my mansion. I'm going to show you my fancy cars, but my character is shot and I'm bankrupt. I've done nothing wrong.
When you tell the truth, you have to deal with the repercussions of the truth. We black out here. We can't come out here and do it any kind of way we want to. Listen to me. Your husband can't be the Sydney that he really is out here.
Let me tell you something.
That flexing, we got to flex a different way. We out here in a game. This the money game. This ain't the black man's game. This ain't the white man's game. This is the money game.
But
we in the money game. And you cannot sacrifice yourself. The best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. You cannot help them.
We're in the money game. But let me tell you what the game is before the money game. Like this. Before the money game, it's called the integrity game. And we've lost the integrity worrying about the money.
But Mo,
wait a minute.
If I crumble, my children crumble, my grandchildren crumble. I cannot, for the sake of my integrity, stand up here and let everybody that's counting on me crumble so I can make a statement. There are ways to win the war in a different way.
I'd rather die like a man than live like a coward. There's a ghetto up in heaven in this hours. Black power.
Those are bankrupt people. So everybody that Cat sat right here and told you about, I can't wait to see your next interviews with those people.
They ain't coming on now, Mo.
Invite them.
I have.
They not gonna do it.
Well, look, I've already done Steve. I have a relationship with Steve.
Do him again. Do him again. And I'm going to say this.
I'm trying to get Oprah and Tyler, though.
Baby, we got him. Y'all, come on, stop playing.
They ain't coming on, Mo, thanks to you.